Hi, I'm Dee Mae Series, one of the Becker County Master Gardeners. A few years ago, I moved to the country from the Twin Cities area. My attitude about wildlife was always live and let live. I figured they were here first. And fences really don't do much for me. I don't like the feeling of fencing, and I feel boxed in. So I vowed to not fence in anything when I moved here. I feed a variety of animals, some of them on purpose, such as birds, hummingbirds, and some of them I feed despite my best plans, such as deer, rabbits, woodchucks. I try to keep the beets and the beans from our garden for ourselves, not for the deer. And I like to actually see some of my flowers bloom. And I really don't want to share my sweet corn with the raccoons. Also, mice, deer, and rabbits are really hard on the shrubs. So what can I do? First of all, it helps to know who's doing what in your garden. Most of the critter deterrents that are used or advertised take advantage of the specific animal's behavior or habits, so it really does help to know what you're dealing with. I've tried a variety of many different critter deterrents, and most of them work, most of the time. Sometimes you have to change tactic, or you have to repeat things, such as that smelly stuff you see advertised. People have a lot of ideas of how to keep animals away from their garden using smelly stuff that the animals don't like. But the problem with that is, first of all, they might get used to it, and second of all, every time it rains and it gets washed off, you have to put it back on. So you have to have a big bag of tricks, and animals do learn and get used to various things that you use. One of the things that I've used, for my bird feeders especially, is a squirrel-proof feeder. And I've found through difficult times that don't buy the squirrel-proof feeders that have a tube that pulls down, but the tube is made of plastic. I once had a squirrel chew through one of those in one day. So don't use plastic for anything squirrel-proof. I have a bird feeder that I absolutely love. It has been squirrel-proof. However, just to show you that they do learn, I've seen squirrels shake the shepherd's hook that I have it hanging on until the seeds fall out the front. Also, earlier this spring, I had an incident where every morning when I came out, the bird feeder was hanging crooked on its shepherd hook, so all the seeds spilled out the end. I blamed that on the squirrels until one night at 3:30 in the morning, I woke up to hear some excited and frustrating chatter, and I turned on the flashlight and I saw several raccoons who were very angry at the change I made to the feeder so that it wouldn't fall off the hook. Fish line and stakes are one way to keep deer out of your garden. They like to eat a lot of the flowers that I plant here, and the fish line has so far kept most of them out most of the time. Sometimes they reach over, and sometimes they might get scared and break the line. To add to the scare tactic for the deer, some people use a flagging tape. Anything that flutters in the breeze kind of scares them. That's what I meant about taking advantage of their habits and their behaviors. Anything that flutters or touches them that they don't know what it is, that scares them, keeps them away from your plants. If you were to fence for deer, it has to be at least 8 feet tall, because they can jump 6 feet with no problem. Also, some people have a list, or I've seen a lot of different lists, about plants that deer don't like to eat. But don't be fooled by that, because deer who are hungry will eat just about anything. Some of the smaller shrubs I have here, I have wire around them, chicken wire, and that helps to keep deer and rabbits from browsing on them, particularly in the winter. New plants might need protection from the weed whacker and the lawnmower, and that is in the summer. For rodents, like little mice or sometimes rabbits who will chew on bark on smaller shrubs and trees in the winter, you can use hardware cloth or screen to keep them away. In my vegetable garden, I use a variety of small fences and things that I can move with the plants from year to year. Well, Extension has many handouts that you can find either online or Ask a Master Gardener that will help you to deal with animals in your garden.